Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
From the gun, Cherry. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Kamale Correa in there to get him for a loss of 5.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cherry. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Tackled there by Monte Nicholson. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down. This is Geis, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall, and they can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Now Smith, and he goes down, and it's in the end zone. Smith goes down in that end zone. That is a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
On 1st and 10, Cherry, they'll let it go deep for Beckham. He's got a man, complete. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. Operating from the gun, Cherry. He lets it fly for Lockett. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And now it's 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chain.
You're some shit in a bitch.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st down, Cherry. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they're going to measure revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Kevin called this better than Russell in his...
No doubt about it. What everyone has to understand understand is that the officials are going to be right on the play each and every time. You may not like the call, but they're usually spot on.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag.
Kevin Kolb is a god.
Let's see what that's about.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
The hit comes late. We saw it. There's your flag.
And we know that there's a guideline, right? Ball's gone. You get one step. If you're within one step of the quarterback, you can hit him as long as it's still done legally. But anything outside of that looks like an extra step was involved.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Russell sucks.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him, and fourth.
You're bad-onged.
Here as he's taken down, Cameron Jordan in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. On fourth down, Cherry.
Hey ha 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 ha.
And my goodness, this is incomplete. They had the play call on fourth and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. So a tough pill to swallow there. A would-be touchdown pass in and out of his hands on fourth.
Sometimes it just comes down to execution.
He drop it hoo hoo ha 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 ha.
Is it the right play call? Is it not? In this situation, everything was right except for the finish. You have to catch the ball and convert.
Geis with the carry on second down. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. Well, you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Ryan Shazier in there to get him for his second sack of the night.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of
Hoo hoo ha hoo ha 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 hoo ha hoo ha 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 hoo 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 ha 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 ha.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll...
Hoo hoo ha hoo ha 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 hoo ha hoo hoo ha 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 ja 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 ha 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 hey hoo ha hoo hoo.
Good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And incomplete here on third down. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Yeah, that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on fourth down, this is a big call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Forcing the incomplete pass on fourth down and then roughing the passer.
Your offense was ready to roll, ready to get out on the field and take over. Instead, self-inflicted. Now they have to stay on the field and play.
They'll rifle this one deep right side. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Seahawks
You're bad LL.
way to stretch their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Extra point try now for Walsh. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete. They've got this big lead. They said, forget one, we want two. Instead, they got 0.
Unbelievable that they even attempt it from the 15-yard line. What are they thinking? I do know this. When you fake one in this situation with that type of a lead, especially from the 15-yard line, oh, boy. I tell you what, meeting them again somewhere down the line, they'll remember this. Yeah, they'll think that they were trying to clown them a little bit.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's Smith. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Throwing on third down, Smith. Throw left side is complete to Reed. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They do get 9, but it leads to fourth down. Here's Tressway now as he'll kick it away for the second time. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. That'll go down as just a 20-yard punt, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them the lead.
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Man, we see a lot of quarterbacks try and do this. They get out of the pocket, they get in trouble, and they try and force the ball into their star receiver to make a play, sometimes whether he's open or not. And I think this time, it's definitely an or not.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Now a first down throw, it's Smith. He'll check it down to Geis. 20! And just shedding him off there. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
Throwing is Smith. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Holding offense.
Well, they've already allowed 3 sacks in this first half. Now a holding penalty.
So I think drastic measures had to be taken, right? The regular way was not working. He was getting hit almost every snap, it felt like. They had to try and keep him upright.
Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit.
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. But the Redskins look to get this one back, and indeed they did. It's still Washington football. A growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. A shotgun snap for Smith. And they'll get him down here at the 23. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 3rd down, here's Geis. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Just 11 seconds to go in the half as they have it 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Cherry. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. A final shot before break. Cherry. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. That's caught inside the 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the 3rd quarter?
Walsh now for the PAT. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. Williams now on the return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Out to the left here to Reed. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Smith finding his big tight end Reed for a Redskins first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They go play action here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. They'll hand it out to Geis, and he'll take this one down to about the 40. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
To throw on third down, Smith. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty as a result of that hit there.
Now we've got whistles here before the snap. Was this on the Redskins? I think so. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. But the Redskins look to get this one back, and indeed they did. It's still Washington football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
That one good for 14 yards. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. From the gun, here's Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
This has kind of been the story all night long, hasn't it? An inability to really get much done on 3rd downs, and it's costing them.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely. He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Zach Brown in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 54 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
10 more there and another 1st down.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there's another 1st down run right there.
And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. To throw on 2nd down, Cherry. Being chased out left. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete, and now 2nd down. Back to the air. Smith on 2nd down. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Smith now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bobby Wagner in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
On the handoff, it's Geis. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet? And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gains. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He lets it fly for Lockett. And that one knocked away and incomplete. Nice job defensively. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Cherry. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, Cherry. He's going to let this one go deep. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Operating from the gun, Cherry. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Well, Charles, I guess the only thing I can think there is they've got a 3-score lead, and they're saying, we're not going to lose this, so let's have some fun. I don't know why you go for it.
I think that's as good an explanation as any, and we all know that certain coaches are more aggressive than others. That call to me, the fantasy people loved it, right? Anybody who's going to touch the ball, gain yards, maybe put more points on the board, they're happy that they kept it and did that. So, very interesting deal there, but I'm with you on it.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Frank Clark in there to drop him the 7th time tonight. He's gone down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation...
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And the Seahawks have recovered. And they're going to come up empty here on 4th down.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. To me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Young. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
Pushing a foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined it.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because he had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the interception by the Seahawks D leads to a touchdown. They had the lead in the fourth, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. It doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
Difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Dumps it off for Geis. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Bobby Wagner in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Third and long, it's Smith. Jordan Reed has it. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st and 10, Smith. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. From the red zone now, Smith. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a second down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll make this a second down. To the air again, Smith. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Throwing to start the drive. Cherry. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off near the 32. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. From their own 2, Charles, they opted to throw it instead of run it. We saw the outcome.
And I think what a lot of teams count on is defenses to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to force a safety or force a turnover there. But if you've got a good defensive front, you just allow them to play the run and everyone else stays ready. And they were, and they picked that one off.
It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard to go. Now Smith. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Out of the gun, Smith. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down.
That's interference.
So who's this going to be on? Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all. And it's been a long day for this crowd waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
Looking to throw. Cherry. He'll rifle this from deep right side. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
So now on comes the field goal unit. And this will be a shot. Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Seahawks, It's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. So for Charles Davis and our entire
and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a right now. I do this for my rounds, oh yeah. Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in a good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. Chillin' like a boss with my feet up. Got a bag for him with a visa. Pulling up the know the leader. Getting out while I'm on the. She's a keeper. No burritos. Get to the pesos with amigos. I cannot with no zeros. Don't you run out? No, I can't show you no love, baby. Yeah, I am a boss in the cut. Mayday, bubbles and I'm these models. It's popping, I tip her. I skip her, I give her the. Girl, you on my line right now. Yeah, I can see the signs right now. Feeling like a boss right now. Feeling like a boss right now. And you just took a loss right now. Dripping in the sauce right now. Get a sprinkle up my style. I'm about to lock down. Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in a good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. I feel like a boss right now. Talk to the man right now. Oh yeah. Feel like the man right now. Your girl on my line right now. Oh yeah. Shorty all up in my me. Oh yeah. She love me in the gray sweatpants. You never left. Yeah. Feeling like a boss, I done made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Up, down, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me. Feel like in the real life, dripping on sauce in a good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take mine. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a right now. I do this for my rounds, oh yeah.
All these bands I lost count, cause I'm too up right now. Too up right now. I'm too on one day on my third. I was too broke, now I'm too rich. Made 100K on my third shift. I'm a boy, so boy, and I'm a gangster. And you a boy. Man, we been getting money for a long time. We was out here hungry for a long time. I don't never really have no punchlines. And all you rappers looking like a lunch line. Nothing, need a Uber right now. Right now, need crew up right now. Cause we too up right now. Ooh, I'm up walk out. All these bands I lost count, cause I'm too up right now. Whole gang in the field, we don't do bleachers.
Ice the game, had to ice the game. So much ice, too much, had to ice the lane. Freeze the dud, freeze, had to freeze the lane. Freeze, camera phone, turn your lights off. We been on, came from my block and growed up, guess I'm homegrown, well known, that is my cologne. I put my wrist inside the freezer, came out froze. Ice. I put my heart inside, cause I was chose. I put my heart inside and only God knows. Yeah, the clinics, but that baby wipe this nose. I wipe this nose. What's a leg with till they explode?
Superstars out. Brand new cars. We by the bar now. Swaying doors now. Now smash. Chats and goals. Rock the shows. Big bang rolls. Cash. Now she go. For the team. Now she don't ski. Splash. Think about post now on the ground. Man, the leader. Whole gang in the field. We don't do bleachers. Think about post now on the ground. Man, the leader. Whole gang in the field. We don't do bleachers.
Rain put the stars out. Not aboard the house. Get deported out. Moved out for a shot. Marvin the Martian.